Hello and welcome everyone to the Masters Cup World Arena Season 23, and I, SW, will be your host for today. A rundown for this competition: we will be having the top 4 players from the World Arena Season 23 from the English-speaking countries in Southeast Asia, consisting of Malaysia, Philippines, and Singapore. The champion for today will be progressing forward to the grand final round, which will be happening on the 15th of January. 8 PM SGT, to challenge the other champions from the Vietnam, Thailand, and Indonesia region, as well for a shot of the most honorable title, the champion of the Masters Cup, including the juicy grand prize. Alright, so without further ado, I think this is gonna be very interesting to see who will actually come out ahead in the Masters Cup for our Southeast Asia English-speaking countries region. Just gonna show you guys the rulings here. We got the SWC mode for all matches today, and it's a best of 5. With SWC ruling, it means that there will be a pre-ban phase at the start of the draft, and we'll be having the 4 champions from each region, mainly consisting of the Southeast Asia English-speaking countries region, Thailand, Vietnam, and Indonesia, and they'll be fighting out again on the 15th of January. So very excited to see who will come out ahead. And in terms of the prizes, we got the Masters Cup, which will be having their name engraved, and also the Artamel SD figurine. Yeah, there you go. And for the runners-up, they will be receiving the Elia SD figurine as well. So it is all to play for. This will be the first Masters Cup of SEAEN. So hopefully we get to see some interesting drafts, alright? In terms of drafting, I think in terms of the meta-wise, it's still gonna be likely first pick Oliver. I think that unit is still really strong in current meta. And also things like Dominic Marsha for the standard, normal, elemental net 5s. I think those will be picked up really often, as well as Shizuka. So depends on what kind of combinations that they want to run. These 4 players are definitely one of the top in the game, and it's gonna be very interesting to see what kind of other strategies they can do with those monsters as well. So we will be also having a Q&A minigame event later on during the live stream, and all you have to do is to answer a simple question by commenting directly down in the live stream comment section below, and also make sure to fill up the Google document form completely. And in terms of the bracket, we do have Remember YS up against Coconut. So these are the 2 Colossals. Every single Magnificent 4 Cup previously, they are inside. And I believe Remember YS probably won the most. So one of them has to go out in the semis, and it's gonna be very interesting to see who will be the champions for this one. Flynn and Blackhearted as well will be filling up the slots here. And I think Flynn also has very good drafting, as well as Blackhearted. This guy, a lot of LD net 5s, and we are gonna see who will come ahead. Also, back to the question and answer minigame event later. The valid players who answers correctly will be able to participate in a lucky draw in the near future, and we'll be choosing 1 lucky person to receive a Rika SD figurine, which also includes a code that gives 500 crystals and 10 mystical scrolls as well. Here is the winners voting rate. You guys have predicted this one. Everybody actually supporting Remember YS, because yet again, like I mentioned before earlier, he won a lot of Magnificent 4 Cups previously, and he still stands a very good chance in progressing forward to the grand finals for this one. Flynn, like I said, very good drafter, followed by Blackhearted at 12% and Coconut at 11%. Wow, but Remember YS having 45%. The players' votes are in. And let's see whether it actually happened later on in the stream as well. So once again, Remember YS will be fighting out Coconut first, and then Flynn against Blackhearted. The winners will be fighting out against each other in the final to see who will be progressing forward to the grand final round of the Masters Cup, which will be happening on the 15th of January, 8:30 p.m. SGT. Also, there will be 2 coupon codes to be given out today, so please sit back and relax and enjoy the entirety of the stream. However, there will be a limit of 500 codes up for redemption only, so please make sure to use the coupon code as soon as possible once it is released. Alright? So without further ado, I think we are just gonna get the players ready and we should be able to get our matches started. Super excited to see what kind of drafting will be picked up this time. In terms of meta-wise, I am not sure whether the puppeteers will be in play, but I still feel like Zibala has a very good kit. Like the water puppeteer, right? So without further ado, this is the first match, the first semi-final match. Remember, YS up against Coconut, and it's gonna be a best of 5 for everything SWC ruling. So Cheompong and Lima is pre-banned. Here we go. Coconut will be getting the first pick, going for the Masha. So a couple of good counters against Masha is things like Bulwark, because whenever Masha gets a immunity, every time she moves, Bulwark get 1 stack as well. So remember, YS just taking away one of the big damage dealers as well in the form of the Dominic, and going for a Shizuka pick as well. And Coconut got a Stripper followed by the Oliver. So far, I think meta-wise, yeah, that 4 normal elemental net 5s, the Masha, Oliver, Dominic, and Shizuka will always be picked up very heavily. And remember, YS going for his Tianlang and a Sekhmet. So Sekhmet definitely moving first because it's gonna be very fast and high accuracy as well. Once you land the cooldown time onto your opponent, that opponent can't really do too much. So Coconut pivoting into the Josephine and the Juno, because there's a lot of stunts coming out from things like Tianlang. So I am probably not gonna see Tianlang being banned out here. So remember, YS got 8 seconds left. He is going for the Tessarion. So Tessarion is a very good counter towards the Juno. Potentially Masha as well if the Sekhmet can strip into the Oblivion. So Tessarion is a 4-span followed by the Praha as well. So on Coconut side, there's no heals. And this season already just started and both of them are up at Guardian 1 as well. Very even in terms of their point gap. So Sekhmet obviously moving first here. Lightly going for the strip onto the Oliver. Gets it. That is actually very important. So Oliver can't do anything for at least 2 more turns. Masha can't really work anything as well because there's full immunity on the side of YS. But Dominic taking quite a lot of damage already, with the armor break intact. If no provoke, this Dominic can one-shot. Ooh, down to the last hit. What will the Shizuka do? Going for the all things in nature. So Juno, unfortunately, Juno didn't get any strips. Wow. So this is a very good opportunity to kill off the Juno actually. Because once again, the Oliver can't do much. He doesn't have skills. So Juno is dead. And Tianlang is just gonna finish up that unit as well. 4v2. With the counter buff, Josephine taking more damage than she actually did to the Dominic. And now there's another reset coming up from the Sekhmet as well, landing it onto the Masha. Wow, this Dominic getting the additional turn. 1-0 going to Remember YS. The drafting is so good. Yeah, the Juno didn't really do too much as well. Just went down so quick because there's Once again, no healers on the side of Coconut. Apart from the Juno's heal whenever she moves if there's any debuffs on the team. But with Sakmat's heal block as well, the other teammates isn't gonna get healed up. So these were the last rounds pre-ban. The Chumpong and Lima. What will it be this time? Do we see Coconut banning out the Tianlang? Actually going for the Shizuka. And on the side of YS, he's quite afraid of the Ragdoll, so he's just gonna be banning it off. So what will it be this time? Remember YS going for the Masha. And now, Lima will be able to be picked up, including the Praha again. So Praha earlier got banned out. This time, remember YS going heavily on some win units here in the form of the Oliver and Chumpong. Two very good crowd control units. And Coconut also having the Tianlang. Wow, the double LD pandas. Do we see Ming actually involved in this fight? Because once again, Ming is just a single target damage. Alright, so actually locking that unit in. And remember why it's going for the Wind Robo. This unit has been picked up so much recently. Because yet again, it has a very good kit. It's something like a budget Gianna, if not on par with Gianna because of the strip into the AoE stuns as well. And last but not least is gonna be the Poseidon picking up on the side of YS. So Coconut here going for some sort of counter Molly or the Vert. So both also having very good passive with Molly in play as well. Will it be a little bit too passive? Yeah, there we go. I think Coconut needs more damage output. So going for the Dominic. And who will you ban out if you're Coconut? I would actually be afraid of the Wind Robo. Not gonna lie. But taking out the speed leader Oliver is also really good as well. So 5 seconds left for them to lock in their pre-bans. And it's gonna be the Chumpong and Lima. So Coconut needs to sustain the Robo strip into the stuns, Poseidon's pushback, slow debuff. There's a lot of controls coming out on the side of YS, including the 33% speed lead. This doesn't look too good. However, double resistance on the strip. That is what Coconut needed. So remember, YS has no choice but to work on to the Tianlang. Tianlang already going down soon. But the Oliver just wants to finish off that unit. Now the Daydream comes. So will Coconut be able to come back from this? Poseidon goes down as well. And every time Dominic gets an additional turn, the damage output is just too strong. Ming getting stunned up as well as the Dominic. The slow debuffs on the hit means that, remember, YS will be able to turn cycle really quickly. And there's no heals for the next 2 turns. The Praha just going all in onto the Wind Robo as well. Ming needs to get some move on. Yeah, has to go for the normal attack. Getting the additional turn, finishing off that Wind Robo. However, trading off the Dominic as well. So now Oliver will be able to control the team again. So getting the reset onto the Ming. And Praha getting resetted as well. Additional turn. That was actually huge. But Ming very tanky. We'll see whether he's able to sustain. With the armor break intact. And another potential 2 turns coming out from the Ming as well. He's going down. With Ming dying over here. Will Praha be able to win? I don't think so, because it's just gonna get controlled. Masha getting the glancing, but it is fine. It's already down to the last hit, and there's no heals. Needs a violent proc here. Didn't get it. Unfortunate. And it's 2-0. Wow. Imagine if Praha got an additional turn there. I think it could be pretty interesting to see whether the additional damage from the normal attack is able to kill off the Oliver, because yet again, Oliver no heals. So in that fight, I think YS draft was very clean. Once again, I was expecting either the Oliver or the Wind Robo to be banned out, because I feel like Cheongpong, even if you let Cheongpong chill, you're only gonna get resetted one turn, right? It's not like a full reset like what Oliver does. And Praha will be able to come off with the heals more often than not. Okay, so we are on to the third match. A potential 3-0 clean sweep coming out from YS. We'll see about this one. Pre-bans will be the Cheongpong and Lima again. And they're picking really quickly. So it's the same thing as the first round. On the side of Coconut, the Oliver, Praha, Masha. And YS also not changing up anything, going for the Dominic, Shizuka, Tianlang, and the Segmet. Whatever works for him in the first round. It seemed really clean as well in terms of YS drafting. And Coconut this time going for the double Sky Surfers. The Mouse and the Molly to finish up his draft. And remember, YS likely will be locking in this Singza. Yeah, Singza is actually pretty decent here. It's just that there isn't any sustains on the side of YS. So we'll see how tanky the Wind Monkey is. Both sides locking in their bans already, and it's gonna be the Dominic and Masha. Speed leader on the side of Coconut, and HP lead for Remember YS. So Mouse going for the big damage stun, already getting countered stun. So even with the 33% speed leader, Oliver can't really get faster than the Segmet. Segmet getting the reset off onto that unit. Tianlang needs to go big here. Didn't get the armor break. So he's just opting for the triple stuns. That is big, but Molly will be able to cleanse one unit if she chooses to. I think it's a no-brainer. We cleanse the Praha so that Praha has the potential sleep coming out later on. But Shizuka will be moving in front. So damage already done onto the Oliver, down to half-life with a heal block as well. Molly won't be able to sustain that unit. And there's no cleanse. So Tianlang's additional damage pretty decent. Oliver is dead. I think Segmet will just go for the kill here. There we go. And now, this is the tricky part. Is Mouse enough to kill off all of the units on the side of YS? Because it's still not over yet. YS doesn't have any heals, but Mouse taking so much damage from that Singza. Praha getting resetted as well. It's all up to the Molly to get some additional turn. Needs to heal up this Mouse. But Mouse is dead. That is unfortunate. 3-0 clean sweep coming out from Remember YS. So once again, YS making himself known and already locking his place in the finals for the Masters Cup preliminaries. And seems like he's not here to play for fun. He really wants to get this win. 3-0 clean sweep against one of the best players in Summoner's Very convincing. In terms of the drafting, there wasn't any situations where he felt pressured. Maybe in terms of the second round, where it went all the way down to 1v1. But yet again, Praha, yeah, likely will always lose to the Oliver as well. So very good drafting in terms of Remember YS. So we can see, in a way, Dominic picking up after the Masha. Dominic Shizuka for the first round phase in terms of the drafting is a very good counter towards Masha picks. He didn't even need to go for things like Bulwark, although Bulwark is also one of the decent counters towards it. And also, so far we haven't seen any Geos in play as well when the opponent picks the Oliver. So I think Geo is also a very decent counter towards Oliver picks. And we'll be happy to see one of those units pop up later on as well. Yeah, more fun in terms of the drafting. But yeah, Remember YS doing really good. And we are waiting for the next set of players to get ready. And it's gonna be Flynn up against Black-Hearted. So once again, after this next set of BO5, like the best of 5 for Flynn and Black-Hearted, we'll be holding a Q&A minigame event, okay? It's a very simple question, and all you have to do is to answer it by commenting directly on the live stream, and also make sure to fill up the Google document form completely. It's gonna be pinned in the comment section down below as well, so hopefully you see that. And the valid players who answers correctly will be able to participate in a lucky draw in the near future, and we'll be having one lucky person receiving a Rika SD figurine. So the next match has started already. We do have Flynn up against Black-Hearted. So in terms of the pre-ban, I believe that it's a Viva Shell, including the Oliver. And Flynn locking in the Water Ryu. So Water Ryu is a very strong unit, especially now with the recent buff that they gave him. He's able to absorb more attack bar. So Black-Hearted, we do know this guy. He has so many LD Nat 5s. You don't really know who to ban out because there's so many strategies that he actually has with his LDs. So Naftis and Wunsa, two really superb units, top tier S-class. And Black-Hearted is just fighting speed against speed here. This might be a quick one, because it doesn't seem like Flynn is backing down as well. So Tomoe and Volantis picked up. Wow, all these LD Nat 5s. Super strong. So even if Flynn pivot into a Juno here, Juno and a Veromos. Okay, these two units are really decent against Naftis and Tomoe. What will Black-Hearted actually do? I feel like he needs some big damage dealer, because yet again, if Veromos is in play, he's definitely able to cleanse everything. And getting a lot of attack bar as well. So going for the Asher. So Speed Leader Asher, I think, will likely be getting the move on. But do we see enough damage output coming out from the side of Black-Hearted? So Wunsa can't really do anything here. So just opting for the normal attack, and Valantis going for the provoke and getting double stuns as well. However, Juno will be able to heal up. But like I said before, is the damage output on Black-Hearted side enough? It doesn't seem so. So Masha not doing anything just yet because that's the suppress, and getting strip stun as well. Pretty big damage done from that Wunsa. Needs to work on to the Masha first because that's the main threat. With the glancing, will he be able to land the skills? So he's just opting for the normal attack. He doesn't want to risk it. Volantis is stunned up as well. So Juno hitting really hard, has very decent additional damage coming out from that unit. And now Winrobo is going for the stun. However, failing to stun the Tomoe. That is actually unfortunate. But now it's 3v4. Juno's Despair is also really good. And does Asher have the heal? Okay, so Blackhearted concedes. He kinda knows it because, yet again, in terms of his drafting, the Voromos and the Juno actually hard countered the entirety of his whole draft. So, actually, Flynn doing a lot of homework. He prepared the Voromos to be up against things like the Nephthys, and it's a very good 2 last picks coming out from him, which actually made him win the match really easily against Blackhearted. So Blackhearted there, although he does have a little bit of sustains in the form of the Asher, but yet again, when you're running Asher in this kind of context, it's not on a crit damage build. Most of the time, it's just on speed, HP with the best Swift sets that they have, and just wanting to get the move, the first turn itself. Okay, so we are on to the second match here. And these were the last rounds pre-ban, the Oliver and the Viva Shell. So what will it be this time? Oh, Flynn actually banning off the Narsha. He does know that Blackhearted has that unit as well. And Blackhearted just want to remove one of those pesky units, the Juno, because I think he's still sticking to his usual draft. Yeah, there we go. It's gonna be the Nephthys first pick. And Flynn also not changing up anything, going for the Water Ryu and Winrobo. Do we see a potential 5 LD units picked up on the side of Blackhearted? Man, this guy's account is stacked. So Flynn taking away the Wunsa actually. That is nice. At least he has 1 LD unit to steal away on the side of Blackhearted. And Blackhearted going for that Viva Shell Leo combination. Very scary. I feel like you have to break that. And going for the Leo Vert. Do we actually see the Dark Kung Fu Girl picked up on the side of Flynn? I don't think so. Kind of trolling with that pick over there. And he's actually going to lock in the Zibala. So this will be one of the first time that we are seeing the Water Puppeteer making her mark in the RTA draft. Will it be banned off though? We'll see. Actually, Zibala getting banned off. That's interesting. So both sides has the 24% speed lead. However, Viva Shell and Wunsa has very high base speed. Who will be moving first? The Wunsa getting the strip. And now Winrobo will be able to follow up with the potential stun. Gets it onto 2 only. Didn't get it onto the Volantis. Very unfortunate once again. Getting counter stun as well. So Chompong needs to go for the pushback. Getting the Despair stun onto the Vert. So the controls is looking really good on the side of Flynn. However, I feel like he needs to kill off this Vert because whenever that unit is in play, there's so much RNG involved. You don't really want to deal with the revenge coming out from that unit. So now it's not stun up. He's gonna work onto the Nephthys. Yeah, look at that, all the counters. And Nephthys down to the last hit. I think it's just gonna get removed. And Wateryu gets the stun onto the Vert again. Volantis with the glancing isn't really gonna do too much. Volantis is dead as well, including the Vert. And it's a very good drafting once again coming out from Flynn. Wow. I didn't expect that. So the Wunsa kind of caught Blackhearted off guard, I think, because he didn't really want to pick that unit yet. Probably he thinks that Flynn doesn't have it. And then with two really force ban units on the side of Flynn, you only can remove one. When you let a speed leader, including Wunsa, most of the time that unit will be moving first, right? So yeah, very good drafting once again from Flynn. I'm liking it. So once again, the last round's pre-bans were the Juno and Narsha. And here we can see Flynn isn't even bothered by the LD Net 5s that Black-Hearted is picking. Yeah, he's just banning off the others. So this time, going for the Viva Shell again. However, Flynn will be getting first pick. The Water Ryu, I think he's not gonna change up anything. He's very comfortable with the drafting coming out from Black-Hearted. And Black-Hearted this time changing up his draft. He knows his LD units is gonna get counted really heavily. And he's opting for that Oliver and the Masha. So Zibala and Cheongpong, these two units goes hand in hand. Lots of crowd control skills from the third skill itself. And Black-Hearted trying to go for a little bit of sustain in the form of Molly. And Valantis as the AoE strip. Because Black-Hearted kinda knows that on Flynn's side, he doesn't have any immunity on his team. Yeah, I think that's one thing to note as well. That's the reason why he didn't go for the Wunsa. But yet again, Flynn going for Geo and Karnal. So like I mentioned earlier in the stream, Geo is a pretty decent counter towards the Oliver, because whenever Oliver goes for the skills, Geo will be able to reduce her cooldown time and also getting some attack bar as well. So Molly and the Karnal will be banned off. 33% speed leader, slightly more than Flynn on the side of Cold-Hearted. So first turn goes to the Masha. The Masha actually really fast, even quicker than the Valantis. So that's very interesting to see. However, Valantis getting stun up. And now the suppress onto the Oliver. So will he actually use the skills? I don't think so. Yeah, he doesn't really want to take the big damage done. And with the glancing on the side of Flynn, actually landing the freeze. So that's not too bad. So opting for the Despair stun, getting it onto the Oliver. That is huge. However, does Flynn have enough damage to deal against that Juno? Because the Chompong is taking so much damage already. So improvise onto the Water Ryu. Water Ryu will be able to go for the strip. Both sides no sustain. I am not sure who will be coming out ahead on this one. Chompong has no choice but to go for the serious matter because it's gonna be going down soon. So Masha is dismounted as well. This is gonna be really close. Can Zibala and Water Ryu carry this? With the Oliver getting a move really soon. The resets are coming. But there's one turn. He needs a violent proc. Didn't get it. So does Geo have the suppress? He does. Likely gonna be placed onto the head of the Oliver, but resistance. Has to get the freeze here. Didn't get it onto the Oliver though. That's pretty unfortunate. No Despair stuns as well. Valantis goes down. Masha really low on health as well. So this time, Oliver gets the additional turn. And he's able to go for those annoying pesky skills coming out from the kit. However, he drops. And now, double fire. Potentially, it's just Juno because Masha is dead. Juno against the world. I am not sure about this one. I feel like Flynn might get this 3-0. Juno needs some big despair stunts. However, Water Ryu's damage output in terms of the additional damage coming out from the artifacts is big. So you can see almost 2k plus per hit. Juno really low on health. I think it's gonna go down here. Wow, Flynn actually getting a big 3-0 against Black-Hearted as well. So far, the two winners for the semifinals over here, we can see both of them sticking to the draft really well. They didn't really change up much because they are very comfortable with their set of combinations that the monsters that they are choosing. And also, it seems to work very well against the opponents over here. They didn't have any clue on how to kind of counter those kind of draft. But yet again, kudos to Flynn and Remember Wires. Both of them will be fighting out against each other in the finals. And only one of them will be able to represent the Southeast Asia region in terms of the English-speaking countries to progress on to the grand final round. So here is the bracket once again. Clean sweep on both sides. Really nice to see though. Both of them drafting really well. And we'll see whether Remember Wires has what it takes to maintain his winning streak in this tournament. So as well as Flynn. I think both of them don't really share the same units because in terms of Remember Wires draft, he preferred to go for things like Dominic and also the Shizuka, Tianlang, those kind of drafting. And on the side of Flynn, he always opts for his Water Ryu. Okay, so without further ado, I think we are gonna be releasing the quiz, the Q&A minigame event. So are you ready for this one? Once again, all you have to do is to answer the question by commenting directly on the live stream, and also make sure to fill out the Google document form completely. The valid player who answers correctly will be able to participate in a lucky draw in the near future, and we will be having one lucky person to receive the Rika SD figurine, which includes a code that gives 500 crystals and 10 mystical scrolls as well. Okay, so you got about 3 minutes to do so. Please make sure to comment down in the YouTube live stream, alright? So without further ado, this is the question. How many dice can you acquire per day from the dice event in the game? Is it A, 2, B, 3, C, 4, or D, 5? Okay, lock in your answers down in the comments below and make sure to fill out the Google document form completely. I'm just gonna leave it here. Once again, how many dice can you acquire per day from the dice event in the game? Pretty easy one. So if you do not know, hurry up and log in into the game, alright? The answer is waiting for you there. So how many dice can you acquire per day from dice event in the game? Is it A, B, C, or D? Lock in your answers down in the comment section below. And also make sure to fill out the Google document form completely. You never know, you might be the lucky winner to receive the Rika SD figurine. It's really nice as well. So make sure to do so. Yeah, just participate in this one. Also, inside the SD figurine, there's a code as well that gives you 500 crystals and 10 mystical scrolls. So really good stuff. And after the quiz game, we will be also having the first coupon code of the day. So stay tuned for that. Ah man, I can't wait. I can't wait for the next set of matches. Flynn and Remember Wires. Who will be the one representing for the Southeast Asia region EN? Very interested to see this one. I believe the Vietnam, Thai, and Indonesia has concluded their winners already. So it's gonna be happening on the 15th of January, 8:30 PM SGT, alright? So once again, how many dice can you acquire per day from the dice event in the game? Lock in your answers A, B, C, or D. Alright, just gonna give you another 10 seconds to do so, and we'll be releasing the first code of the day. Are you ready for this one as well? Because there's only 500 up for redemption only, so make sure to use the coupon code as soon as possible once it is released. Here you go. The first code is S23C Champion. You'll be getting 100 energies and 100,000 mana stones. Once again, the coupon code is S23C Champion. There will be another one at the end after the final match, so just make sure to stay tuned for the entirety of this stream. Just sit back and relax and enjoy your Thursday evening. So coupon code once again is S23C Champion. You'll be able to receive 100 energies and 100,000 mana stones. Yeah, good stuff. Free energies for you to farm your potential legend rune. You never know. Quad speed might be appearing. The S23C Champion. And now, I think it's time for the final match. Are you guys ready for this one? So, in terms of Remember YS and Flint's draft, we get to see probably the only thing which is picked up similar is the Wind Robo. Will it be a contest for that unit though? I am not sure. But both of them have different styles of playing. So in terms of going for CC crowd control units on the side of YS, he prefers to go for things like the Poseidon earlier that we saw. And on the side of Flint, he goes for the Zibala. And it's gonna be happening here. The final BO5 for today. Remember YS up against Flint. Hopefully it goes all the way to the 5th match, because I think both of them have been playing really well so far. And it's gonna be the Tianlang and the Water Ryu ban out. So Flint taking away the Oliver. And remember YS going for the Marsha. Marsha Geo is very good to counter that Oliver. Yeah, there we go. So YS also thinking about that. It's always the 2 standard units that you pick up once your opponent goes for the Oliver first pick. And Flynn this time going for double water in the form of Mouse and the Praha. So YS this time, Leo is a hard counter towards the Mouse. So with that being said, likely will be force ban. But does YS really need that unit to be in the draft? He's taking his time to decide here, down to the 1 second, and actually locking in the Singza and Leo. So for YS, I feel like his last pick will be something like a Shizuka, some sort of immunity user. Or if you go Dominic here, it's gonna be quite scary though. You don't have heals. Really full out attack. All out attack on the side of YS if he goes for this Dominic pick. And he actually locks it in. Tasarian will be banned out as well as the Leo. Because Leo once again is superior counter towards the Mouse. Mouse won't be able to do much damage if Leo is in the field. So got no choice but to force ban that unit. And on the side of Flynn, because of the speed leader coming out from Oliver, it's actually quite fast. Failing to land the Karma onto the Oliver, that is big. So Oliver now will be able to go for the controls. Does Praha want to exhaust the heal yet? I probably don't think so. Yeah, just go for the normal attack. Because remember, YS doesn't have any heals. But Singza doing quite a lot of work here. However, Riley will be able to cleanse the stun away. So Dominic down to half life. Marsha needs to go for some big damage done. Not too much done onto the side of the Oliver. So if Dominic drops, this will be scary for YS. Praha gets the heal. And Oliver will be able to control the Geo once again. Getting the additional turn, so another 2 sets of skills coming out from that unit. Immunity is placed, and the Masha next turn has the armor break. So suppress this time, land it onto the Oliver. I think you just go for the normal attack. Yeah, there's no point exhausting your skills. Praha getting the Violent proc as well. Look at the Praha's damage, man. It was 2.2k per hit. Oh man, but the Oliver just got deleted. So now, 3v3. And if I were Flynn, going for the Masha kill is actually quite interesting because, yet again, Miles is very decent against that unit. I would prefer to kill off the Singza first, you know? Because Singza is the main threat. So another big round of heals coming out from that Riley. Suppress most likely onto the side of Praha, but failing to land again. So Masha still alive. Yeah, look at the Singza. He's controlling the mouse really well. So with the speed buff now, no sleeps onto the side of YS. Resistance is high there. Oh, I'm not sure whether this mouse is able to sustain. If you don't kill the wind units, they're just gonna stun you non-stop. And that's your big damage output. So now armor break and the stun. Riley. No cleanse yet. I think Miles likely will... I think Miles will be able to sustain this. And then Riley will be able to cleanse as well. Surviving by the skin of his teeth. Oh, now he actually goes for the Singza. That's very interesting. Why would you want to dismount that unit and then don't go for the kill? Because now if Masha gets a lucky crit... Oh, unfortunately he didn't. But yeah, like I said, if Masha gets a lucky crit, it's gonna be doing so much more damage. And he already lost the mouse. But Praha doing really good as well. Masha needs to get a big crit. He's praying. Oh, didn't get it. Imagine. Oh, with all these turns as well, Masha goes down. And I think Flynn will be taking this one because Geo doesn't have any sustains from here. Praha with the additional damage coming out from the normal attacks is gonna be sufficient, as well as the Riley in play. Yeah, because Riley, whenever she attacks, she's gonna heal up. I think no brainer, you just go for the heals. Gets the sleep as well. Everybody back to full life. And Geo down to the last hit. A very nice draft once again coming out from Flynn. So we can see YS actually bleeds. Yeah, he lost his first match. And in terms of drafting wise, I felt like maybe the gameplay, he could have just worked onto the Singza first. Then only going for the dismount onto the Masha. But yeah, worked out fine for him. But in another universe, if let's say at that point 2v2, Praha got armor broken and stun up, right? If Masha gets the crit, that unit is dead. And that's just the Riley after that. And YS will actually win that one. So a little bit scary in terms of how Flynn is playing that fight. I felt for him a little bit. But yet again, smooth sailing once again once he brought down that Masha. So 1-0 goes to Flynn. These were the last rounds pre-ban, the Tianlang and the Winter Ryu. So this time both sides taking their time to lock in their pre-bans. It's gonna be the Shizuka and the Chompong. first pick will be going for YS. I think it's a contest for Water Ryu here. Let's see. So YS actually opting for the Masha. And with Masha picked up, I think Flynn no brainer. He's just gonna stick to his Praha and the Water Ryu. The more really good. And YS this time will be flashing his Tianlang for a little bit. Going for the Leo as well. So is Leo actually a very good counter here? Because with Oracles, they'll be getting a lot of attack bar. But actually just locking in because he does know that Flynn doesn't have any immunity on his side. After watching the matches that he had against Cold-Hearted. So Flynn going for Double Fire, and we actually see Ken in the mix. That is one unit that we do not see too often. As well as the Laika. So Laika means that Leo is not gonna be banned off. Flynn purposely built that unit for countering Leo kind of comms. And remember, YS has to go double water over here. If not, he doesn't have any damage output against the Ken and the Laika. So Flynn last pick needs to come in handy here. 20 seconds to pick it. Got all the time in the world. YS locking in the Abilio and the Josephine. Because on Flynn's side, there's quite a lot of stuns, sleeps, all those good debuffs. So Josephine is gonna be pretty strong there. But with Abilio possibly banned, there's no heals on the side of YS once again. So Flynn going for more of a sustained comp. If you're letting in Praha and Riley, means that there'll be two healers. Yeah, so I think there we go. The ban will be onto the Abilio and removing the Riley as well, because YS doesn't really want to deal with attack buff, potential justice, big damage output. And the second match is underway. So Water Ryu, does he get any stuns? Or the strip? Failing to land strip onto the Josephine actually, and Tianlang getting double stuns as well. Very interested to see what the Ken actually does here. So I think you go heavily onto the Tianlang, right? Yeah, there we go. Big damage done. Oh my god. Yo, that Ken hits hard. And the Justice to follow up as well. Praha getting the additional turn. Will be able to heal if he chooses to do it, but just opting for the normal attack. He's already happy that his Ken did work. He doesn't really need the unit anymore. So he's just gonna go for the kill. Trade off with the Ken. And then how is Leo and Masha going to kill off the Laika? Especially when the Masha is dismounted. So just getting the sleep onto the Leo again. Yeah, that's not gonna do too much. Now dismounted, everything is a single target hit. Justice, Vampire. I think this is safe to say Flynn outdrafting YS. Because the Leo can't kill that unit. And it's gonna be a 2-0. Wow. Amazing draft coming up from Flynn. Yeah, he knows what kind of units is good against the drafting coming up from YS. Although he changed a little bit. Like I said, I felt like the Leo pick was quite redundant even at the start before the Laika showed up. Because with Leo in the field, it means that the Praha will be able to turn cycle really quickly with the normal attack. 30% means every time we'll be moving twice instead. Something like that. So yeah, pretty good draft coming out from Flynn once again. We'll be moving on to the third match. Possibly a potential 3-0 clean sweep coming out from Flynn. Who knows? Hopefully YS can come back. We want to see 5 matches So Tianlang and Water Ryu is banned out. So Flynn. This time taking away the Cheongpong. Because I guess he kind of knows that if YS goes for some CC comms, like the crowd control comms, the Cheongpong is heavily favored for him. And he doesn't really run the Oliver, but this time Oliver will be picked up as well as the Masha. So do not forget, Flynn does have that Dark Pioneer. Will he bring out the Wunsa if he's going for this kind of CC units? Actually pivoting a little bit with the Geo. So Geo, very good counter against the Oliver once again, and going for the Karnal as well. So Sagmat might be potentially picked up here. Changing it to the Songzang Lao and Wusa. Locking those two in. So now Flynn. Will he just go for the Wunsa here? Follow up with a potential speed lead. Yeah, Chiwu. Chiwu is also very good. You get the 24% speed leader. And maybe you follow up with another AoE strip, because if Chiwu is banned out, then yeah, it's gonna be tough for him as well. So opting for the Win Robo. And YS going for the force ban unit, which is the Douglas. And I think Douglas can potentially solo the whole lineup coming out from Flynn. So you do not really want that unit to be in play. But yet again, it's gonna be quite tough, because speed leader Songzang Lao will be able to strip into the reset. If, let's say, Chiwu is banned out, then I think YS whole team goes in front. So very tricky drafting here. 5 seconds left to lock in their bans. And it's gonna be the Win Robo and the Douglas. So do we see Flynn able to control YS's team properly? So triple immunity on the side of YS, going for the strip. Didn't really get the pushback onto the Wusa though. So Geo just going for the Karma, suppress, and then now, this is the problem. Cheongpong needs to strip later. Getting double stuns. And follow up by the Sword Rain. The Wusa took so much damage though. Masha with the Beneficial block as well. He's not gonna get some immunities here. And Kanal will be able to go for some big damage. Next turn has the third skill up again. Got the Violent proc twice. However, Oliver, very important proc out of the stun. Getting the reset off onto the Cheongpong. Does he land the reset onto the Kanal, however? He does. This might be a saving grace for YS. Okay, Songzang Lao with the glancing. I don't think you do the third skill. Oh, he's just gonna go for it. Yeah, not gonna achieve much, just a stun onto the Karnal. But he took so much damage. The 2-turn sleep onto the Karnal. Oh man, that is rough. And I think from here on out, YS should be winning this one. Because double win against the Masha, there's no way that unit comes back, right? Cheongpong and Geo doesn't really have good damage output. But yeah, I think that Violent proc coming up from the Oliver was very big. A potential game-winning match right there. Because if, let's say, it didn't get the turn, Cheongpong will have followed up with the Serious Matter, and then also Karnal had the third skill up again. And that will be probably on the side of YS, 3 units dead. Probably left the Masha dismounted. And it's good to go from there. So yeah, 2-1. Very interesting so far. We are seeing all these matches. Very intense. And then now we're on to the 4th round. Also, another potential match winning for Flynn. If he can get his win right here, he'll be the one progressing onwards to the grand final round, which will be happening on the 15th of January. However, YS, if he wins this one, it goes all the way to the best of 5, the 5th match. And it's a 50-50 from there. So YS this time taking away the more. He doesn't want Flynn to have that unit. And on the sideline, Masha and Cheongpong is man out. So going for the Dominic and Shizuka. We haven't seen Flynn picking these 2 units yet. So very interesting. And will YS go heavily in terms of the crowd control? Because he needs to remember, Flynn has some secret weapon against this kind of drafting. Yeah, the Juno and Boromos can be really decent here, but he's opting for the Etna. So possibly Speed Leader ban, Etna moves first, potentially. Hall will be locked in as well because of the passive. A lot of AoEs coming out from YS, and it's always on a 100% resistance build as well. So very good counter for Flynn, and YS is going for the Karnal and Tianlang. Very nice draft coming out from both sides. We'll see whether the second turn pivot comp on the side of Flynn will be able to handle the big damage output coming out from YS and the controls. So Douglas will be picked up once again on the last pick. I think it's gonna be a more ban. Likely. But you got a lot of multi-hits to deal against that unit. So maybe taking away one of the Karnal or Song Zhanglao will be pretty decent as well. Okay, going for the Tianlang instead. And the Shizuka. So will we see Flynn able to sustain the damage? I felt like the Etna pick is kinda redundant, because if you don't ban off the speed leader, your Etna isn't gonna be moving. Unless he's so confident with the speed. But with Rin Robo in play, there's no way you are getting the move. So just gonna get stunned up. But Douglas already getting the big counter brand. Rolling spike comes. Oh no. YS, he doesn't have any heals on his team. So, this Douglas, every time he hits something, they'll be taking so much damage. And the Water Ryu down to the last hit already. I think if Water Ryu drops, the Douglas can potentially solo this fight. Yeah, there we go. It's possible, you know? Oh, I'm actually afraid for YS. Although on the side of Flynn, everything is dying, but how are you gonna kill that Douglas? With the branding as well, it's gonna be doing a lot of damage. 3v1, but the Wind Robo can't really do too much. Gets a stun, okay. Something working for YS now. I feel like he needs to go for a stun here. Didn't get it. Unfortunate. So 2v1. Sword Rain. Oh, going for the Sword of Gluttony first. But getting counter brand. The monkey literally needs to crit and stun every single time. Oh, nice crit. So Douglas very low on health. Can they do it? I am not sure. So Douglas gets to lifesteal a little bit more. If there's a glance here, Kanal might potentially die. Song Zhanglao last hit as well. Oh man. Can the Song Zhanglao win the Douglas though? This is intense. Oh, he gets the glancing. And Flynn! Congratulations to Flynn! He will be moving forward to be representing the Southeast Asia region for the English-speaking countries. Basically, he will be fighting out the champions against the champions of Vietnam, Thailand, and Indonesia. So congratulations to him. That was really intense. I tell you, that last fight, whoever... I felt like if he got the crits every time, the Douglas is dead. As simple as that. But every time glancing, then the counter brand, extra 25% more damage that you're taking. Yeah, you can't sustain that. Very good last pick draft once again coming up from Flynn. He will be once again representing Southeast Asia EN for the grand final round to fight it out against the champions of the Thailand, Vietnam, and also Indonesia region. And the winner of that, it will be happening on the 15th of January. So the winner of that, of the Masters Cup, will be receiving the Atamel SD figurine and also the Masters Cup trophy with their name engraved on it. And the runner-up will be getting an Elia SD figurine. So it's all to play for on the second day. Once again happening on the 15th of January, 8:30 PM SGT. So without further ado, we are gonna release the last code, basically the second code for today. And it is Go Masters Cup. You'll be getting one mystical scroll for this. And once again, 500 up for grabs only in terms of the redemptions. So please make sure to use the coupon code as soon as possible once it is released over here. Alright, Go Masters Cup. You'll be getting one mystical scroll. So make sure to type that in. Hurry up before it expires or out of stock, you know. And this will basically conclude the end of Masters Cup preliminaries in Southeast Asia region EN hosted by Comtours. Congratulations once again to Flynn, and he will be moving forward to the grand final round happening on the 15th January, 8:30 PM SGT. So here's the brackets once again. Pretty good stuff. I got to see a lot of interesting picks as well. I still felt like Flynn's draft with the Veromos and Juno, that one was the highlight, because yet again Veromos is a F2P unit and it's a very strong unit nowadays in RTA. So if you haven't built it yet, please make sure to do so. It can come in handy sometimes in your RTA matches as well. So we get to learn some good stuff here watching these top players play. Last but not least, this is the coupon code once again. Hurry up and type this in, Go Masters Cup, and we'll be concluding it right here. Alright, so that's all the time we have for today. Looking forward to seeing all on the 15th January, 8:30 PM SGT. We'll be having the grand final round on that day itself. Thank you for watching, stay safe and have a pleasant week ahead. Bye bye.